How's it going, everybody? It's your BFF Pork Chop here, and I'm going to be doing my review on the latest movie that I've seen, which is The Great Gatsby. This one has a really good plot, it really has a good acting, and then you guys aren't buying this worth a damn, are y'all? Okay, obviously I lied. I'm not doing the review on The Great Gatsby. Obviously, by the title on the bottom, if you're watching this on your little lappy top or whatever, and by the title on top, if you're watching this on mobile, you obviously know that this review is about Hangover Part 3. But before I crack into the third movie, I took the liberty on doing a quick little brief summary, a brief review, and brief verdict on the first two movies, which we're just going to go ahead and review the first two movies before I review the third, because I realized I want to be talking about the third installment when I haven't even talked about the first two. So I'm going to be doing my quick review of the first two movies, and then I'm going to crack in to the Hangover Part 3. So, here we go. Without further ado, let's let the dogs out. The Hangover. Well, as you can tell by this shirt, it says, whose baby is this? This is going to be the quick review of the first Hangover, which I thought was actually a breath of fresh air when it came to the comedy genre, because before the Hangover, comedy was getting kind of, there's got to be some romance in it. There's gotta be a crappy plot to it. There's gotta be a, slapstick, which I like slapstick comedies, but the comedy genre wasn't actually doing that great, in my opinion. It's seen better days. But when The Hangover came out and I was at work and I heard people talking about it, and then I go to school and everybody was talking about it, I had to see this movie. I actually had to wait till it came out on DVD, but I eventually saw the first Hangover. And I'm going to tell you, that was a great, great movie. The plot was original, right along with the choice of acting, of the actors. I don't think they could have picked anybody else to play Alan. That was a great pickup, along with Stu and Phil and all them. And it had a lot of great cameos, including Mike Tyson. It was a pretty good movie. I liked it a lot, and so my final verdict for The Hangover is going to be a very, very, very recommendable, if that's even a word, but I'm going to make it a word, recommendable 9 out of 10. Go see the first Hangover. You won't regret it. I promise. Unless you're my grandma. She didn't like it. For obvious reasons. The Hangover Part 2. Now, compared to the first one, this movie does not have a leg to stand on. The second Hangover was basically the first movie. It's just they went and read the script and they thought, oh, instead of Vegas, we'll make it Thailand. Instead of a baby, we're going to make it a monkey that follows him around. Instead of Stu losing his tooth, we're going to give him a tattoo. And what's going on? Oh, yes! Doug has to be absent almost the entire movie, and they have to look for... What do they have to look for? Oh! Stu's brother-in-law. They have to look for Stu's brother-in-law instead of Doug. Perfect. Multi-million-dollar movie right there. See, that just seemed lazy to me. It was basically the first movie, but they changed some stuff. It just did not sit well with me. Of course, there's a lot of funny parts in the movie, but it just, compared to the first one, there's no contest. I know a lot of people like the second one, but it's not Pork Chop's cup of tea, so I give it a 3 out of 10, which is giving me a sour stomach just thinking about it. Ugh. And finally, what you all came here to see is my review and verdict of The Hangover Part 3, or 3, as we like to call it here in America. But this movie, the plot is very clear at the very beginning. It shows that the Wolfpack has to reunite once again, except this time to help their fellow Wolfpack member, Alan, who they convinced to go to a rehab facility in Arizona via a intervention, telling him that he's off his meds, he's an asshole, he hasn't been the same, and he just basically just needs to go to rehab to better himself, because the route that he's going on is not a route you need to go on. So on their way to Arizona, they get bushwhacked by a group of masked men who are led by a man named Marshall, who is John Goodman's character. And they basically tell them that Chow has escaped from prison, and before he escaped from prison, Chow stole $21 million in gold bars from him, and he wants him back. Now, Marshall takes Doug, of course, because Doug has to be absent almost the entire movie, because this is a hangover movie we're talking about. He takes Doug and basically uses him as an insurance policy that he gives the Wolfpack 3 days to find Chow and his $21 million in gold bars, or he kills Doug. So the Wolfpack have to go on a journey to find Chow and the $21 million in gold bars. Now, that's as far as I'm going to go into the plot, because I don't want to spoil anything for any of you kiddos. So that's where I'm ending the plot right then and there. Now, being that this is the final installment of the Hangover trilogy, at least it better be, they brought back a few characters from the first movie and some from the second movie. Not much from the second movie, of course. You know, their wives, like Stu's wife and a couple of other people from the second movie. But from the first movie, they actually have another cameo from Mike Vallely, who is a professional skateboarder who was in the first one. He was the one that did the highway tuxedo exchange when they were going to the wedding in the first one. He's back as basically Alan's best friend. He's just hanging out. And they also brought back Heather Graham, who played Jade in the first one. She has like a brief, probably like 5-minute scene in this movie, and then that's it for her. She's never seen again in the movie. And they brought back Mike Epps as Black Doug from the first movie. Black Doug. I'm not being racist. That's what they call him. Black Doug. And Mike Epps is a funny guy. He was in this movie for, just like Heather Graham, for about 5 minutes. He wasn't in there that long. I like Mike Epps' cameo as Black Doug. He's pretty funny. Also, they brought, as a cameo, Melissa McCarthy. Now, she's a great actress, and basically she was the girl version of Alan, so you could see what her character's like. My favorite, which was absolutely necessary if this is going to be the last Hangover movie, they brought back the same actor that played Tyler/Carlos. The little baby Carlos, remember him with the little shades? So cute. He's such a cute little baby. I always wanted a nephew like him. I hope Lawton comes out to be just like Carlos, so I can put little shades on him. But it's the same actor, which I thought was amazing. They brought this kid who's probably about 3 or 4 at this point. They brought him back to reprise his role as Tyler/Carlos, and it was awesome. It was absolutely amazing. Before Porkchop gives his final verdict of The Hangover Part 3, I'm going to give y'all a little hint that y'all need to stay midway through the credits at least. I didn't stay after the credits. I probably should have, just in case. But midway through the credits, there's a scene that kind of wraps this series up into a little pink bow. And you're going to understand what I mean by that when you see the scene. But it is an amazing scene, and it wrapped it up nicely. And I'm glad that this scene was in there, because it actually made this review a whole lot more interesting to tell. Because I'm thinking about it right now, and it is funny. It is killing me up there. Now, Porkchop's final verdict of The Hangover Part 3, I give it a 7 out of 10, which is a high recommendation. Go see this movie. Go see it with a group of friends. Go see it with your family like I did. See it and have a good time. So, there you have it. Always remember, Colin Porkchop loves y'all bunches. And y'all's brief little homework that I'm going to give y'all short little homework essay I'm going to give y'all, rate from Hangover Part 1 to Hangover Part 2 your favorite movies. For example, mine is Hangover Part 1, Hangover Part 3, and Hangover Part 2. Obviously, as you couldn't tell by the overall ratings. So, there you have it. Y'all have a good one.